Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's at-home lower body focused workout. Today we are going to be working our side booty muscles. We are going to be filling out those hip dips, rounding out the gluteus medius muscles. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get right into it. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's at-home side booty focused workout. Today we're going to be working the gluteus medius muscles, rounding out those hip dips and getting in a great burn. We're not going to be using any equipment. However, if you want to step up the intensity for any of these exercises, please feel free to throw on a pair of ankle weights or use a booty band for more of a burn. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to start off in a side lying position down on the mat. And we're just going to prop ourselves up on our supporting hand or on our outstretched arm. Now I've got my top leg is my right leg right now, so that's the leg I'm going to be starting off with. I'm going to really lengthen through the toes, stack the hips, knees, and ankles. We're just going to pick the feet up and hinge from the hip, bringing the feet a little bit further forward on the mat, coming into a pike. We're going to start off with some really slow leg circles. So I'm going to bring the leg up, sweep it back down and around, and just really focus on opening up in the hip here. So we're going to be working the hips a lot in this exercise too, or in this workout. So we want to make sure that the hips are nice and mobilized before we get started. So drawing these really slow, smooth circles. Good. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth to get into that Pilates breath. Good. And if you're rocking around a lot with these circles, just bend that lower leg. Now we're going to reverse direction of those circles. Again, really lengthening through the toe, opening up in the hip, and moving that leg bone around in the hip socket. Good. For 2. And last 1, and bring it down. Good. Now straighten out the legs again. You can flex the foot, pulling the toes back toward the shin. We're going to keep the top hip stacked on top of the lower hip, and we're just going to go into some leg lifts. So we're lifting and lowering that top leg. We're keeping it parallel with the lower leg. Neck is nice and long. Legs are nice and long. We're really lengthening out through the heels. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Amazing. Keep it up. Lifting and lowering. Try not to open up in the hip here, so you don't want to be sort of letting that top hip roll back. You want to keep it stacked right on top of that lower hip, and our abs are engaged to help with torso stability. Good. We've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause about halfway in your lift and then pulse. Little pulses here, lengthening out through that heel. Really flex the bottom leg as well to keep yourself stable. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, lower down. Amazing work. Now we're going to move into an all fours position. Wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips. We're going to go into some fire hydrants here. But rather than opening that right leg right to the side, we're going to kind of pull the knee back a little bit on a diagonal. So we're going to lower and then lift. So not right out to the side, we're pulling it back on a diagonal and really getting deep into those gluteus medius muscles. Good. Plug belly in. Gently pull that knee up and back. And try not to lean too much over to that supporting side. We want our shoulders nice and broad for extra stability. Good. Breathing in through the nose to lower, out through the mouth to lift. Really squeezing that booty at the top of the lift, getting that knee right up there. Good. Keep it up. We've got 5 and 4. Lift and squeeze for 3. Plug belly in. And 2. And final 1. Amazing work. Lowering both knees to the mat. Set your shoulders so they're nice and broad. Extend that working leg, that right leg out behind you. And now we're going to tap the toe to the outside corner of the mat, lift up and over, and tap to the opposite corner of the mat. So we're going to draw a rainbow in the air with that big toe. So we're really lengthening out through the toes, tapping from one side to the other. Really plug your belly in here to support your torso to make sure that you're not overarching in the lower back. Spine is in neutral. Lengthen and lift. Inhale and exhale. Really squeeze your bum, particularly at the top of that rainbow. Drawing that nice big arc in the air. Try not to sway from side to side through that torso. You want that trunk really nice and stable. Good work. We've got 5, 4, squeeze and lift, 2, and last 1, and back to center. Nice work. Take your knees nice and wide and push the hips back toward the heels for 3, and 2, and 1. Now we're going to do the other side. So we're going to be switching between the left side and the right side in this workout. Good. So lower down onto the mat. Prop yourself up on your hand or your outstretched arm. Stretch those legs out long. Set the shoulders down away from your ears. Pick the feet up and come into your pike. Nicely done. And we're going to move into those leg circles. So nice fluid leg circles. A really gentle move to start off with on this left side to mobilize the hips. Good. Breathe through it. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Last one, and then reverse. Good. If you need to bend that lower leg for more stability, please do so. Get as much length as you can as you circle. Nicely done for 2 and for 1. Straighten out those legs, stack those hips, and flex the feet. Plug belly in, and now lift and lower that top leg. Good. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Really lengthening through those heels. Keep the neck nice and long here too. Abs engaged. Give me 5, 4, 3. Amazing work for 2 and for 1. Hold. Halfway in your lift and pulse. Really squeeze the muscles in that lower leg for extra added stability here. Pulsing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold and lower down. Good. Now moving into our all fours position. So from here, we want the knees below the hips, hands below the shoulders, and we're going into that fire hydrant variation where we're just gently pulling the knee back as we lift and open to the side. So coming back on a bit of a diagonal, really plug your belly in for this one so you can get that range of movement without sort of bringing your whole torso with you as you lift that leg up and back. Good. Squeeze the bum. Move slowly through this one so that you're really remembering to engage that gluteus medius as you lift that leg. Good. You've got this. Try not to lean over to that right side. Really power up through those shoulders. Keep those shoulders nice and broad for that stability. We've got 6, 5, lift up nice and high for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Make sure you've got space behind you. Straighten out that left leg, point through the toe, cross over, tap, and a big arc in the air, tap to the opposite corner of your mat. Good. Spine is in neutral here. Glutes are working as you come up and over. Come up and over. Nicely done. Keep it up. Gaze is down on the mat. Neck is in line with the spine. Again, trying not to lean over to that supporting side. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, squeeze the bum, and 1, lower down. Take the knees nice and wide. Push yourself back for a child's pose for 3, and 2, and 1. Use your hands to help you to return to a kneeling position. And now we're going to get in place for some bridge work. So we're going to lower down to the mat, resting head, neck, and shoulders down on the floor. And from here, we're going to separate the legs so they're hip distance apart. We want our legs parallel, feet parallel, and the heels below the knees. Pressing the backs of the arms into the mat. We're going to tilt the pelvis back, peel up into a bridge position. So we want the tailbone slightly tucked here, so we're not overarching the low back. Find your footing, make sure that your heels are below your knees, and from here, we're going to open into a knee abduction and then back to parallel for 2 more, and 3, lower down, touch your bum down to the ground, lift. Now this time we're gonna tap knees together, squeeze knees together for 1, 2, and 3. Back to parallel and lower. So we're gonna move between those 2. Abduct the knees, 1, 2, and 3. Lower down, then lift, kiss knees together for 1, 2, and 3. Good. Lower and lift. Abduct. 2, 3, and lower. Lift. Tap knee together, parallel, tap knee together, parallel, tap, parallel, and lower, and lift. Widen the knees, back to parallel, widen to parallel, widen to parallel, and lower. Good. Lift, knees together, knees together, knees together, and lower. Good. Knees apart, knees apart, knees apart, and lower. Good work. Now as you tap those knees together, I really want you to squeeze those glutes, keep those hips elevated. Nice work. As you abduct those knees, come out onto the outer edges of your feet. Really squeeze that bum as you do so. Good work. Make each movement count. Whew, these are burning. 2, and 3, good work. And lift, 1, 2, and 3. Last set of each. So we're lifting, 1, 2, and 3. Lower down. Last knee taps, 1, 2, and 3. Lower down. Amazing work. Take your knees in towards your chest just for a moment. Hug them in. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth for 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Now we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, letting the knees splay out to the side. We're going to tuck the tailbone, so get that flat back, and then lift the hips up toward the ceiling. So not overarching the spine here. We're gonna lower and lift the bum. Lower and lift. Inhale and exhale, good. Tap the bum to the mat and lift and squeeze, keeping those knees splayed out to the side, really squeezing the bum, not overarching the spine, so keeping that tailbone tucked. If you feel like your tailbone becomes untucked at any point, lower down, reset the pelvis into flat back and carry on. Good, lifting and lowering with that control. We've got 3, 2, abs engaged. Last one, lift. Now from here, we're going to pulse the knees out to the side. 20 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get deep into those glutes. Good. 10, we've got 10, 9, 8. Working those booties. Good work. 3, 2, 1, and hold. Bring knees together and lower it down. Amazing. Stretch your legs out long. And now we're going to switch positions again, coming down onto our stomachs. So we want the full length of the mat here. We are going to just press the forearms down onto the mat like so, one in front of the other, or if it's more comfortable, you can have your arms outstretched. I'm going to separate my legs so they're about hip distance apart. And from here, starting off on the right leg, I'm going to lift the right leg and then tap the right toe down to the corner and then back to center. So I'm tapping the toe out to the side, not to the corner, and back. So tapping the toe out and back in. So imagine drawing a little rainbow in the air with that big toe as it comes from the starting position outward and back in. Good. Now, as you do so, you're going to really use your glutes to get that lift. So really squeeze that right glute as you lift up and over to the side and then back in. Good. Last one and back to center. Now we're going to do the same thing left side. So tapping the toe out and back in, drawing that rainbow shape, squeezing the left glutes. Coming out and in, really focusing on that mind-muscle connection, using that bum to get the lift, squeezing those thighs to get that lift. So you're working your thighs and your glutes here. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to center. Now we're going to do both legs going out at the same time. So we're doing the arc with both legs out to the side and back to the start point. Both legs out to the side and back. So tapping toes outward, drawing those rainbows from side to side. Now really try to lengthen out your low back here. You don't want to really be compressing it. So I want you to really focus on those glutes and thighs doing the work here. No straining in the low back. Good. Lifting and lowering. Lifting and lowering. Really challenge yourself by getting your legs out there to the side and then bringing them back in with that glute and thigh activation. Good. For 2. And let's do one more like this and back in. Nice work. Okay. From here, we're going to come over onto our sides and we're going to do some side lying work. We're going to start with that right leg again. So I'd like you to stack your hips, stack your knees, stack your ankles, support your head in your hand or on your outstretched arm. We're going to bend the knees, bringing them into a right angle position. We want the knees in line with the hips, shins parallel with the edge of the mat. From here, we're going to lift just the lower part of the top leg. Now this is one of my favorite side booty exercises. It gets deep if you do it with good form. So follow along. We're gonna lift the knee, and as we do so, we're turning the toe down toward the lower set of toes. So we're tapping the knees, lifting, opening the knee, and then tapping. This whole time we're keeping that top hip stacked right on top of the lower hip. Very important. Place your hand on your glute for some feedback here. Really feel the work of that gluteus medius as you lift and lower that knee. Good. Do it slow. Take your time to really engage, particularly at the top of that lift. When the knee is at the highest point, make it count. Good. Lowering and lifting, squeezing the bum. Good. We've got 6 and 5. You can do it. Last 4 and 3 and 2 and final 1. Good. Now we're going to go into some elevated clamshells. So we're going to bring that lower foot up. Line up the heels, ankles, and knees. Glue the inside of the feet together, opening and closing. Good. If this is too much with your lower leg elevated, simply lower the lower legs down to the mat. Good. Otherwise, keep those lower legs lifted. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep those toes pointed. Keep the heels pressing together. We've got 3. I know it burns. 2 and 1. Now we're going to go into an extension. Open, extend, bend, and close. Open, stretch the leg, foot to the foot, knee to the knee. Good. We've got 5. 4. Keep it up. We're so close. 3. Last 2. And final 1. And lower. Good. Now we're going to change positions again for our final 2 exercises on this right side. So we're going to come down onto the mat. We're in all 4s. Come to the top of the mat. We're going to lower the left forearm down to the floor. So it's parallel with the top of the mat. We're going to take that right leg out on a diagonal here. Now, from this position, we're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. So we're tapping the toe down on the floor and then lifting up, lengthening on that diagonal, squeezing that side booty as you do so. Good, you can do it. Keep it up. Keep those shoulders rolled down away from your ears. We've got 5, 4, squeeze the bum for 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, come onto your side. Bring that top leg forward, bend the lower leg for stability, and then we're going to circle. Good, circling forward, drawing circles in the air with that big toe. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse direction with those circles. Good, lengthening out through that big toe. You can do it. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Amazing work on that side. Now we're going to do the opposite side. So we're going to come over, lying down on our side bodies, bending at the knees, and preparing for those leg lifts. So our shins are parallel with the top of the mat. We're going to lift just the lower part of the leg, keeping those hips stacked. We're opening the knee and closing. Opening and closing, turning the toes down and up. turning the toes down and up. Again, feel free to place your hand on your glutes for that feedback to make sure that you're really remembering to engage that booty as you lift that knee. Good. Keep breathing through it. Nice work. We've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now join the lower leg, join the top leg with the lower leg, glue those feet together, elevated clamshells. Good, nice long relaxed neck and shoulders. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We've got 5, 4, squeeze those heels together for 3. I know they're tough. 2, and 1. Now for the extensions. Good work. Open, extend, bend, and close. Open, stretch, bend, and close. We've got 5 and 4. Keep that lower leg elevated. For 3 and 2. Yikes, nearly there. And last 1 and lower. Whew. Okay, now coming down into that forearm position, so that right forearm is coming down onto the mat. We're going to extend the left leg out on the diagonal, going right into those taps. So lengthening out the torso here, lengthening out the neck, and extending that leg on a diagonal as we lift and lower with control. Those shoulders are away from the ears. The leg is long, the toes are pointed. We've got 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, lift it up for 2, and for 1. Now we're gonna lower down onto our sides. Bend that lower leg, bring that top leg forward, plug belly in, and start drawing those circles. Good. Circling. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse. Good work. Keep it up. Last move. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Nicely done. Roll over onto your back. Cross your right leg over your left. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and just hug that knee in toward you. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Stretching out those glutes, opening up in the hip. Breathing deeply, connecting the low back with the mat for 3 and 2 and 1. Let's take the other side. Stretching it out. Well-deserved stretch in those glutes after the work that we just did. Regulating the breath, connecting the low back with the mat for 3 and 2 and 1. Nicely done. Take your hands behind your thighs, roll yourself up, and we're just going to finish off with pigeon pose. So we're going to come into a plank. We're going to fold the right leg under the body, stretching out the left leg, pressing the mat away through the fingertips, sitting up nice and tall here. Good, really enjoying this stretch for 2 and for 1. Stepping the right foot back, bringing the left leg under the body, stretching and lengthening out through that right leg, opening up in the hips and the glutes on that left side. For 3 and 2 and 1. Bring yourself to a cross-leg position. Wow, that was tough, but I really felt it in those glutes and thighs and hips, and I hope you did too. Thank you so much for moving with me, and I look forward to working out with you again next time.